the Overman Warrior Podcast.
Hi, Rich Hoffman here. Hey, I love space, and I say to everybody, and I'm not joking, the explosion of the New Glenn rocket in Cape Canaveral at the Kennedy Space Center, end of May 2026. Like I said, it's mostly a fireball. SpaceX had plenty of those kinds of blow-ups. When you're transferring fuel over all those lines that get plugged together, you build these rockets, and there's a lot of seams in the piping that goes into them. Leaks happen. It's easy to see happen. It's hard to troubleshoot it. And you had a few successful launches. It's easy to take it for granted that it will always be fine, and then you end up with an explosion like that. And my comment to it was, hey, it's just fire. Yeah, it looked big. It's a lot of gas, a lot of fuel. Spewed in the air. It went really high. It was seen for miles around. I know the Space Coast well. I've talked about my wonderful experiences at the Space Coast. I love Kennedy Space Center. I love Cape Canaveral. I know all the restaurants there very well. Love them all. I love the vibe of the Space Coast. I have a lot of good memories there, and I can imagine how shocking it was to be on Cocoa Beach that night, knowing that there was going to be a static fire, and so people show up to put the lawn chairs out to watch it because it lights up the night sky. Anytime there's a launch at night, it really lights things up. Even normal launches. This is a big rocket. It had a lot of fuel in it, so it was going to put up a lot of light when they fired the rocket up anyway. No one was expecting it to blow up. I can only imagine how people on the beach felt when they saw that massive fireball. I'm sure it was shocking to people who saw it, and I'm sure it sounded bad. And explosions are bad, but that's why the Kennedy Space Center, you put all these launch pads so far apart, and you can have big explosions like that, and you can still, SpaceX still launched a Falcon satellite mission the next day because your infrastructure is isolated because of the distance that everybody is from each other in case those kinds of rockets happen. So it's got a report on me, and I'm not exactly ashamed of it, but I'll say it because I do work in this professional arena. My advice to everybody at Blue Origin, I was just down there, saw the Blue Origin facility they have down there at the Kennedy Space Center. It's magnificent. I'd say everybody needs to show up for work and work like they always did. Keep everything on schedule. Isaacman, keep Blue Origin moving. Tied to Artemis. Keep on schedule. Don't push this stuff out in 2029, 2030. People need action in 2026. They need action in 2027. They need action in 2028. You got to pull the schedules to the left. You can't take these moon missions and move them out. They got to stay on target. You got to give people exciting stuff. If you want people to pay and fund for your stuff, you got to keep putting out news reports. SpaceX has always done a good job when they had tragedies. They got to get something back up in the air weeks later. Got to go file your FAA permits and get something back up in the air and show that you're moving again. Get another rocket prepared, Blue Origin, and put this news story behind you as fast as possible. Go back out there and build it. Again, my reputation is I'm not a very safe person. You have what I call, one of the things that's really dragging down the corporate world these days is the safety tyrants. You can attach them to the amount of Marxism and communism that's seeped into our society. The safety tyrants are those that say safety first on everything. Safety shuts down capitalist endeavors. It's better to shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down. They love to say that. Shut it down. Those are the people that say shut down the economy for COVID. Shut down traffic with protests. Shut down I-75 with Black Lives Matter protests. Because Black Lives Matter, but at the expense of everybody else. Marxist movement. Shut down economic flow. Shut it down because we lack security. He's finding that going on with the, that's what's going on in the corporate culture with cybersecurity. Shut it down because there are pirates out there. You have software manufacturers who sell security and then they sell the back door to pirates so they can steal all your stuff and break into your bank account, steal your identity, and then use it to enrich themselves. There's a lot of bad stuff going on out there, but they say because of this or that, because it's an unstable environment, shut it down. And you heard that. There was a tongue in the cheek, for sure, in the media when this New Glenn rocket blew up. There were a lot of people who are like, "Hey, we don't want to see a space economy. We want to see it get pulled back." There are a lot of people very sad about this seeing because. New Glenn, Blue Origin has been catching SpaceX, and people are rooting for that. It's like a horse in the Kentucky Derby that you watched, and all the main picks are doing well on rounding the last corner, the fourth turn, and they're coming down the stretch, and they're neck and neck, and it's all the usual suspects. But then you have the underdog coming up the back. From the back all the way to the front during that home stretch, and they overtake the leaders in the nick of time. There's a lot of people in the horse race of space economies who are rooting for Blue Origin to catch SpaceX, and they don't want to see a setback. And this will be a major setback for them. But I would say to them, if you're doing program management on this, get another rocket right out there. They should have another one close. Get it moving. I said the same thing with Virgin Galactic when they had their big catastrophe. I think it was 2013. Get another one up, get the other one built, caught up, and get people, get the space tourism thing going, get people on there and fly them. Don't let the safety Marxists stop you. There was a lot of people that saw this explosion and said, all right, there's a space catastrophe. It's going to slow down the space economy because all the Marxist and socialist takeovers out there don't want to see migration. They don't want to see capitalism in space. There is enough rare minerals on the moon to introduce trillions of dollars of new money. And it's quite an extraordinary enterprise. The future of manufacturing is in space. I've said it myself. I see myself a part of some of that space economy. There would be nothing better than having a 200,000 square foot manufacturing facility floating around the Earth between the moon and Earth, where you can bring rare metals mined off the moon, very heavy metals, and bring them to these manufacturing facilities and make all kinds of stuff in a zero gravity environment. And you can live for a long time in these places. You don't need forklifts and big overhead cranes to build them. You can push them with your finger. Things that weigh hundreds of tons. That's manufacturing of the future. And how do you staff it? With the great Tesla bots. And everybody's out there screaming and yakking about, oh, we don't want robots taking over our McDonald's jobs. Well, you should have thought about that before you jacked up the minimum wage and made it economically not viable to hire human people. The economic expansion is going on anyway. There's not enough employees to cover all those markets. So robots are going to be a thing. And then a space economy and on the moon bases, robots are going to be everywhere. They need to be. And they need to be functioning as, in dangerous environments where humans don't need to be. But the danger tyrants can't be allowed to pace the expansion of the economics here. And that's what was really kind of being celebrated when the New Glenn rocket blew up. All the Marxists of our society saw that as a setback for the trillions of dollars. It'd be hundreds of billions of dollars at first. Within a few years of this moment, hundreds of billions of dollars of new economic revenue coming out of the space economy. But it will be trillions and trillions for those who are harnessing the metals off the moon, off Mars, off asteroids floating around out there. mining in space is going to be big, big business, and so will manufacturing in zero-G environments. And people think I'm kidding when I say that SpaceX, the Starship, is going to be the game changer. It is going to be the game changer. You can bet on it. And I'm saying all that, I'm rooting for New Glenn. I want New Glenn to push SpaceX to faster and more often. I want to see launches from SpaceX. I mean, you see that almost now with the Falcon Heavies and the satellites that they're putting up. A lot of people don't think about the infrastructure that is already being done routinely. Like I said, this rocket, this New Glenn rocket explosion would have shut down NASA for years, a few years ago. But instead, it was an isolated pad. Yeah, there's damage. Go out there and fix it. You can build just about everything. You can fix just about everything on that pad in about 6 months. SpaceX has shown that that's what you can do. You can get that New Glenn rocket right back up and almost get it back on schedule if you're talking about fall of 2026. Get a new rocket back out there and recover, get the pad all fixed up, learn from SpaceX. But the very next day, SpaceX was launching satellites from the Kennedy Space Center. That's how you roll. And don't get all paralyzed with paralysis analysis because you let all the doomsdayers and all the safety tyrants shut down your program because it's all about safety. You know, you get robots to go out and do a lot of dangerous stuff in the near future. So be bold and go out there and shake it. Get another rocket. The next one that's in the factory, I saw the factory. There's another one right behind it. Go work triple shifts, work around the clock, and all those safety tyrant managers and health people that are like, oh, you can't work people more than 12 hours a day. They're going to have a bad work-life balance. They might have emotional trauma. They might not be able to watch Netflix at 8 o'clock at night. Work hard, get another rocket built, get it on the pad, and get it up there for the sake of the space program and the wholesomeness of it. And that's Blue Origin, that's SpaceX, it's Firefly, it's all the big runners. Stay on point, pull your schedules to the left, work hard to do so, and don't let the safety tyrants shut you down because there's a lot of them in the industry these days. And those are the ones that we're happy to see. All right, New Glenn rocket had an explosion. That's going to slow down the space program, and we're going to get our Marxism. We're going to get a slowdown of that economic growth, and Trump will be able to take claim for bringing new sectors of the economy under his watch. That's what they really think when that rocket blew up. I feel bad for the people of Blue Origin. They worked hard. They're doing a good job with their technology. They have so far done all their stuff without a hitch. And this is an easy thing to have happen when you have all those different seams of piping that has to transfer gas and fuel over long spans. These rockets are big, and it's real easy to have a leak somewhere along the way. That's why you do these static fires tests. It's better to have this happen with no one on board than have people sitting on top of it. Live and learn, fix it. Don't get squeamish. Don't let the safety tyrants slow you down. Get another rocket back out and back up and get on schedule and pull your schedules to the left wherever possible. And don't let the safety tyrants shut you down because they are salivating to do so. They are dying to slow down the space economy. And then a lot of them do work in government. And they're going to use this as look how unsafe space is. Should we be doing it? Yes. That's why SpaceX that's why you don't have humans on those rockets going up to space and proving out the Starship, because you had to do it with autonomous technology. And that's why the early occupants in space are going to be robots. They have to be, because you wouldn't put humans in that kind of danger. And it's the same mentality of why are robots and AI taking over so much human jobs? Because you have too many safety tyrants out there say, we got to preserve human beings. We got to make it safe for them. So let's make it safe to the point where they can't even work. You wonder why you have lack of economic expansion. The way to proceed with that is the safest thing a human could do is not leave their house. So send the robot out instead, or use AI instead of them. to fill that market need and that economic expansion. And space is going to happen whether these doomsdayers want to or not. The space economy is happening, and the unfortunate explosion here with Blue Origin, they need to get back on. They need to work 7 days a week. They need to work 3 shifts a day. They need to work, and pull your schedules to the left. Don't pace it out, and don't let the safety tyrants ruin something that's good. And Blue Origin has been very good up to this point. So get back on the horse and ride that sucker to success. Quickly show people that tragedies aren't going to slow you down. That's the way to deal with this. And that's my advice to it. That's how I am. And yeah, I have a reputation for being pretty wild and reckless. But that's a good thing. And the people who call me that are people who are the safety tyrants, who don't like to see progress, don't like to see activity. They don't like to be pushed. So they push back with safety. You're creating a dangerous environment. You're telling someone to work more than 12 hours a day. That's unsafe. They need to go home and watch TV and cook a sandwich and cook a hot dog. They have to have a good work-life balance because their little hearts are timid and it's unsafe. Okay, I'm going to go to AI and I'll go hire a robot to do the work that those people, while they're sitting around watching TV, should be doing. That's the result. That's how you handle it. Automate and replace, but don't let the safety tyrants rule the day. I'm Rich Hoffman here. Share, subscribe, make tomorrow a better day. If you haven't read my book, The Gunfighter's Guide to Business, I think you'll love it. And safety doesn't equal economic expansion. And if you want to expand the economy, be daring and get another rocket up and out quickly. And suppress this news story as a thing of the past as quickly as possible. And have a good day. See you later.
In the age of disclosure, you must understand the politics of heaven. Coming soon.
Coming soon. The politics of heaven in 2027. A treasure hunt through heaven and all human history.